Hey kids. I trust that all of you have been staying out of Tommy's DMs unless you're Rachel, the weirdo, who has decided to sneak back into Tommy's DMs. I know it's been a minute, but again, I took 11 months off, so what's the rush? Let's talk about Rachel being a weirdo. Alright, so I know that I am super late to the party on this because everyone has pretty much talked about it already, but it's my channel and I can talk about what I want to talk about. So I'm going to talk about RachelReacts, Rachel the Python, Rachel the Weirdo, who is the other Rachel, and just talk about, I don't know what's going on over there, okay? Because, truth, I really enjoyed Rachel's content at the beginning. I think a lot of us had enjoyed it, especially if you're a regular Girl Worlds viewer. We had some really interesting videos that came out from her, and then things just became very strange very quickly. Not gonna lie. She had a couple bangers in like October, and then all of a sudden we learned some very interesting information. Like, she had apparently agreed to pay Tommy or Emily for some of the DMs. Then we find out that she's in this kind of very strange Discord. And since then, she has truthfully just been like hemorrhaging subscribers. I feel like every time she posts a video, she's actually losing subscribers. People will suddenly remember that they are subscribed to her. She did some other kind of odd things, like she played some clips from somebody who she probably shouldn't have played or clips from, or I don't know. It was like kind of weird behavior before, but I think she could have continued until everything happened with her in the Discord. So right now it feels like Rachel, I'm going to be honest, is getting a little bit desperate because her views are way down. I mean, they're still, like 20,000 views is great, obviously, but like they're way down from the like millions of views that she was getting. Not millions, who knows? I don't know. A lot more on some of the bigger videos that she had done. Like where the, Tommy, she had messaged Tommy videos, that sort of stuff. But then we find out she was like, quote unquote, flirting with her, which is weird behavior. And then she just can't seem to stay away, which granted, I'm looking at her channel right now, and it seems like the videos that she does that are not Girl World related just really don't do as well. And so I can understand why she keeps bringing herself back to Girl World. But the answer that I have is like, what are you doing? Why are you still trying to chat with Tommy? Why are you still in her DMs? Why are you sending her emails? Which, who's sending emails? That's very weird behavior. You're not just like DMing somebody. That's like a business transaction. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit, because I'm going to be honest, I have a little bit of a theory. And we'll see what I think. I'm not going to get into it right away, but I think there's something else going on here.
Hello, be a good girl and watch this clip for me.
Okay, so we got it pulled up. We're going to talk a little bit about Rachel continuing to weirdly insert herself into Tommy and Amber's relationship. Now, don't get me wrong, because I do enjoy watching from a distance, but I think Rachel is for some reason insisting, she's dragging our name through the mud, that she continues to be like the chief poo toucher in this whole situation. And okay, so I said I wasn't going to say my theory, but I think I'm going to get into it. Hear me out. Is it possible that there is some sort of romantic feelings between Rachel and Tommy? I know, as a fellow queer woman, I'm saying I think that there could be something there, because tell me why Rachel is continuing to be up in these DMs, okay? And I think that there's something we've often talked about how Amber is clearly enjoying like home wrecking. She really seemed to like the fact that she was able to be chosen, quote unquote, by Valentine. And Rachel spent a lot of time talking about how she felt like that was something that Amber was like into. Do you know what I mean? Is it possible that that is how Rachel actually feels? Because we're going to get into it. We're going to watch a video that she posted. And let me tell you, it's weird that she's like, one, continuing to simp for this girl, Tommy. And two, weird that she is still coming for Amber over like the same tired stuff. Do you know what I mean? Okay, we're going to get into it.
I've never lied about anything serious ever. Ever.
So the thing is, like, it's funny, obviously, because we know Amber will lie about anything. ALR do be lying. Liars be lying. And it's not, like, it feels like she's fishing for these content nuggets when this is something that we've been known about. Do you know what I mean?
Ha. I think the fuck not. That might be the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. Amberlynn Reid is a proven liar. She admits it herself over and over again on her own channel.
I lied here.
She even admitted it last week on Lolcow Bus when she said this.
Imagine you going through that and thousands of people thinking you lied. Because you lied about the stupidest, smallest
Okay, here's the thing. Amber lying is not the gotcha that she thinks it is. Do you know what I mean? It's something that everyone knows. It's maybe like the thing. It's like the cat stuff, and then it's this. Do you know what I mean? There's no way that Rachel thinks that this is some like huge gotcha beyond what I think is happening here.
one tells little white lies, bitch. I know you have.
And statistically, sure, they do, but not about big things, certainly not about big things like getting kicked by your girlfriend. Amber Reid is currently using her new position in the Lolcow universe to rebrand herself as some kind of misunderstood victim who did some dodgy things 10 years ago, but we all need to get over it.
So if anything, I'm not getting special protection. I'm actually getting on. I'm the only person that Keem is allowing people to on them for shit they did 10 years ago.
So this is a fair point, is what I'm going to say. I think it's valid to say that Amber is trying to like rebrand herself and be like, I'm actually not too bad. But again, like, she's been doing this. This has been her MO for years. She will go back to her channel and she'll pretend like she had nothing to do with this LCU, and it's going to be gross, and it just shouldn't be a surprise. It's weird that Rachel is going out of her way to like make this point. Do you know what I mean?
Why does something that happened 6 years ago matter? And that was like 10 years ago, might I add. This was about 7 years ago in 2019. Like I said in the beginning of this, you're also talking about something that happened almost 6 years ago.
And while, sure, some of the awful things that she's done did occur 10 years ago, lots and lots and lots of them didn't. And so in this...
I would also like to put... she likes to bring this up. And then she'll be like, this happened 6 years ago, but then she can also bring up stuff from her childhood. But also I'd like to point out, as somebody who is the same age as Amber, 6 years ago, you were like almost 30. So it's not really like excusable. Do you know what I mean? You were 6 years ago, 10 years ago, you were a full adult. So like, maybe chill.
This video and a few upcoming videos like it, I'm going to break down as efficiently and cleanly and shortly as I possibly can some of Amber's most serious lies, because I know there are people who are finding her now because of her existence in the LCU, and they're falling for her bullshit.
Okay, but the thing is, I don't think a single person is watching LCU content and thinking, man, these people are great, and there's no reason why I should think that they are complete losers. I just don't think that anyone's watching that and thinking that. I think it's possible that there are people who just don't know what's going on with Amber and are going to go back to her regular channel. But those have been regular viewers, and those will be people who are looped into the cycle. Do you know what I mean? I don't think anyone's watching the LCU and thinking like, man, this girl's just really misunderstood. Do you know what I mean? And I think everyone knows that. Everyone's watching this. Every person who's watching this is thinking there's no way that anyone thinks that these are good people, you know?
Shit. And I just want to dispense with this facade that she doesn't lie and that she hasn't lied recently. She has, and about serious things. So we're going to start with the physical abuse lies. Amber really, really wants you to believe that despite having said this...
You're saying if I could hit someone, I would? Okay. I can throw this at someone's head. I could take this and throw it.
And hitting tables every time she gets angry.
This time I am, you guys. I'm sorry to fucking break it to you. This time I fucking am.
No.
Go ahead. No. Let Amberlyn.
So, I don't think it's a surprise to anyone who's watching. Amber is a straight up awful person. But the more that I have seen Tommy, and I mean this like sincerely, if you are a person who was able to know and see everything about the person that you were interested in dating, like they had a huge internet footprint prior to you getting together, and you saw Amber and you said, yes, more of this. There's lots of people who accuse her of being a liar, who accuse her of being awful to her partners. But yeah, no, I think she seems great. Then you also have to be a weirdo. Do you know what I mean? You have to be into some weird stuff, which is why I think Rachel and Emily, match made in heaven there. I think that's like part of it. Because why are you involving yourself with this, Rachel? Why do you have no morals on anything? That's what I think people are realizing.
Respond. Let Amberlyn respond.
Not done.
And having been accused herself of physical altercations by at least 3 exes, she wants you to believe that she is not a physical person, and in fact she is the victim of her current girlfriend Emily, who...
Okay, and the proof that we're going to see, I think it's the perfect example of Amber's line, 2 things can be true at once. I can say that Tommy is a weirdo too, and both of them are weirdos. Both of them are weird, bad people in relationships. Both things can be true. They can both be awful to each other.
Who kicked her not once, but twice. Watch this.
It's so crazy that, like, I can sit here and say, like, I genuinely was kicked by someone, and people are like, nope, that never happened.
Except that, no, it didn't happen. Accusing a proven...
Okay, and this is what I want to get into. Why is Rachel defending Emily like this? That is what I'm confused by. That's what I really don't understand. One, I think it's strange that she's like getting into her DMs. She's like crawling in there and she's reinserting herself into this relationship. I think just to like make things worse, just to kick up some dust. And then she asks one question. She says, "Did you lie to me?" Tommy says, "No." That's it. 100% Rachel agrees. That I just can't see how Rachel is immediately simping for her like that. Like, can you not use some critical thinking skills? Use that philosophy degree you're always talking about to see that there is potentially a reason why Emily would want to be dishonest? Like, at the end of the day, we don't have security camera footage from their house. We don't know necessarily exactly what happened to Rarity. We didn't watch the entire footage of everything that happened in their relationship. But I think it's possible that both of them are weird and A-wordy to each other.
Liar of lying is not crazy. And I'll prove that she's a liar now, just like I have been doing for the last year that I've been covering Girl World on YouTube. So, in a couple of live streams in September of 2025, Amber accused her girlfriend Emily of physical abuse in the form of 2 separate kicks. Amber has a history of lying about various kinds of abuse. We will get into that in future videos, but this is one of her most recent, most well documented and provably untrue accusations. So I figured that I would show that one first.
And I'm just like, how can you prove? It is really hard to prove that something didn't happen. And I think that this is like a perfect example of how it's really hard to prove that something didn't happen. I think it's definitely possible that Amber is horrible to her partners, and Tommy can be terrible to her partners as well.
Emily and Amber had a messy breakup in late 2024, early 2025, and Amber claimed that the two were broken up and she was making videos of herself where she was crying beside the flowers that Emily bought her, and she was professing to being heartbroken over losing her relationship with Emily. Some time passed where Amber claimed that she and Emily were truly broken up between January 2025 and August 2025. It was in this August of 25 where they definitely did break up, because Emily started speaking with various reaction channels and private individuals, myself included.
Okay, here's another thing. I actually don't know if I think that they've ever really been broken up. I think that they have been maybe on breaks, but to say that they've been truly broken up between January to August, I think is probably wishful thinking on Rachel's part. It's weird that she's going out of her way to say they were definitely broken up when even by this point, Amber had come out and said that they had definitely been together, at least on and off, this entire time. Do you know what I mean? It's weird that she's insisting that they were definitely broken up, and not what I think is more likely, that Tommy is a weirdo that's like somehow into this humiliation of Amber, and it's more that. Do you know what I mean? It seems like wishful thinking on Rachel's part rather than just being like, all of these people are weird. They all are weird. They all do weird stuff.
She claimed that she was completely done with Amber and that she wanted to tell her side of the story, and so she did. She had long conversations with Mr. Snowflake where she released some text messages. She had the same sort of conversations with me where she sent me screenshots and voice notes and all kinds of proof of Amber being straight up abusive and vile. Videos of all of that stuff are on my channel.
Okay, I'd also like to point out, God, we're only 3 minutes in. Only like 4 minutes in, and I've been talking this whole time. Okay, the other thing that I'd like to point out is, yes, were they talking? Yes. Do I think it's possible that Tommy, Emily, was selective in what she shared with you, Rachel? Showing things where she looks level-headed, cool, calm, collected. When we think back to that video of the car, where Amber's saying, like, well, can I at least get a hug? Emily knew that she was being recorded. Amberlynn did not. And so is it more likely that if Tommy is going to act like a normal person, is going to be like level-headed and chill during that conversation? Yes.
During that period, Emily told Mr. Snowflake that Amber had lied about how her cat Rarity got out, so Mr. Snowflake made this post on purpose to try and bait Amber into telling a new Rarity story, and of course she bit the bait because she's stupid, and this is when Amber went live and accused Emily of being the one who let her cat out. But crucially, and what we're talking about in this video, this live stream is also the one where she accused Emily of kicking her.
When I went to go walk into the bathroom, she kicked me. She kicked me really hard in my stomach. Really hard. That is the only time that something like physical like that happened. And it was like right in my hernia, so that like really scared me, I will say that.
The pair have since...
I will say it is, what's the word I'm looking for? Convenient that Amberlynn would forget maybe something so traumatic happening and then say this only happened one time, but then just kidding, I kind of forgot that this thing happened. I do think that that is suspicious. If it was traumatic enough that you're willing to bring it up like this, it does seem like reasonable that you would remember it at least. So that is one point in the column of like Amberlynn is definitely lying about this, but at the same time, again, why are we going so hard for Tommy? Ugh.
Got back together, although I dare say they'll break up when Amber sees the email that Emily sent me. But this was the live...
Did you see that? Did you see that? She's like so excited about the possibility of breaking them up. It's weird. It's weirdly energy, isn't it?
Stream, it was called We've Been Together the Whole Time, where Amber made her first allegations, and then the following morning she made another live stream where she added a second kick.
She's actually kicked me twice. She literally kicked me off the couch and I landed on the floor.
So she alleged...
See, okay. I think it's definitely possible that kicks happened. I do think that it is suspicious. I don't know, like, what kind of bodily strength Emily has, but it would be impressive if she was able to kick Amberlynn off the couch. And I think that that's fair to say.
is 2 kicks, one on the 17th of November, which was the first one where she claims to have been kicked in her hernia, and then a second kick. Amber did not specify the date of this second kick, but the second one was when Amber was allegedly on the sofa. There was another member of Emily's family there, according to Amber, and Emily kicked her off the sofa. Of course, all of Girl World is desperate to get Emily's leg day routine, but that is by the by. These kicking allegations are the ones that I'm interested in today. My theory is that if I can prove in this video, which I can, that Amber is lying about this alleged abuse against her, then it shows that there is a precedent of her lying recently about different kinds of abuse, and it makes it even more likely that she's lied in the past, which of course...
Ugh, see, this is what's so frustrating and so annoying, is that, like, we know that she's been lying, but I also think that Emily is a lying liar who lies, and neither one is particularly surprising. These are both two weird people who are now bringing in a third weird person, and the way that Rachel continues to talk about Amber Lynn is very much giving competition, romantic competition energy, and it's like the something about it is very strange.
course we know she has, but this video is to prove without a doubt that she has lied, because clearly she's trying to make out like it's not true, and there are new viewers who need to know the law. So this is like a short law snapshot of Amber's kick lies. If Amber lied about Emily kicking her, it's highly likely that she also lied about Casey, Destiny, Jade, Beck, and everybody else. I'll let you be the judge of that.
Girl,
in
we
future
already
videos.
know.
So Amber and Emily went on to get back together, despite Emily telling me all kinds of stuff that Amber had done to her, mental, physical, emotional abuse.
And I think Fupa Cheese said it best, that Amber Lynn would date a tree if it looked at her the right way. I think that that is probably an accurate statement. Like, she just wants to be in a relationship, and there is no way in hell that she's going to give up her relationship with Emily over kind of almost anything. But I think it's also fair to say that both of them are weirdos and potentially abusive towards each other.
2 alleged kicks anyway. When I first spoke to Emily, I asked her about these kicks. Here's a DM that I haven't shown yet, where I said to Emily, "Did you kick Amber? What happened with the kicks?" And this is Emily's reply. Emily says, "Of course the stories of me kicking her are BS. One of the times she was referring to me kicking her was when she was charging at me aggressively after she already pushed me down and landed on me, and I put my arms and leg up in a protective stance. She literally ramped her body into my leg. I did not kick her. I did not move my leg. It was literally a self-defense pose." I've mentioned this before, but I don't think I've shown the DM. So that is what Emily claims. And then she says, "I have no idea what she means how I kicked her off the couch. I don't even know how that's physically possible." So that is Emily way back when I spoke to her last year, saying that Amber's lying about these kicks. So as is usually the case with Amber, we have one party saying something happened and the other party saying that it didn't happen. They can't both be true. It's one or the other. Either Amber is lying when she says that Emily kicked her, or Emily is lying when she says she didn't kick Amber.
See, the thing is, listening to you speak, I think you gotta be using that famous philosophy degree to think a little bit more. Because whenever something dramatic happens, there is going to be really 3 sides of the story. What happened from this person's perspective, what happened from that person's perspective, and the truth is going to be somewhere in the middle. I don't know where it is necessarily, but I think it's possible that like all of these are sort of true. Do you know? It can't be that one person is 100% true and one person is 100% lying, at least not in this situation. And I think if you were using some critical thinking skills and not just simping over Emily, you would be able to see that. But here we are.
They can't both be true. There has to be a liar. It can't be both. Their statements are mutually exclusive, so it's one or the other, okay? So this screenshot that I've shown is Emily saying that Amber was lying way back then. However, as I've said, I emailed Emily about this. So I saw the live, I saw Amber say, "I've never lied about anything serious," and I thought, that's definitely not true. So I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna ask her. So I emailed Emily. Well, I replied to an email from Emily, as you can see here. This was from like 5 days ago. So January 29th, 2026, I emailed Emily and said, "Did you lie when you told me you didn't kick Amber on those 2 occasions?" Emily replies, "No," one word. This is from 2026, this January, like a couple of days ago. So even now, when they're sorting it out, I can still get a reply from Amber Reed's girlfriend.
And that's where it is. Even when they're sorting it out, I can still get a reply from her. You can't come up here and tell me that Rachel isn't excited that she is able to get a reply from Emily. Which is weird energy. Weird energy.
The fact that she would even reply to an email from me, a reaction channel, is fucking scandalous. If the two of you are trying to sort your relationship out behind the scenes, and Amber is seemingly backing you up on LolCow Live and not letting anybody talk about you, why the fuck are you replying to me, a reaction channel?
Why the fuck are you messaging her? Why are you sending her emails?
Surely you must have known I was going to share this email, right? I owe you no loyalty. You're helping me prove your girlfriend is a lying scumbag. So, anyway, that's the email. It's very clear that deep down Emily's loyalty lies with herself and absolving herself of the lies that Amber's told about her. She gives no shits about their relationship. She is a loose cannon. She is not to be trusted. This relationship is a fucking joke. And I just think, and I'm sure you'll all agree, Emily wants this. She wants the drama. She loves it. Amber fucking hates me. So the fact that her girlfriend would reply to my emails is crazy. In the newest episode of
Okay, but I think the list of people who Amber hates is probably super duper long. So saying you are special, again, just like very strange energy. So we're going to go back and watch the next one that Rachel had posted again, because it feels like, I've said this before about Amber, but like the lady doth protest too much, right? People talk about what they think about, as Karina Kaboom would say. And there is no way that Rachel is willing to insert herself into this whole mess, is so self-satisfied that she is getting a response from Tommy, is doing anything else if she doesn't like that she's getting the response. I'm just saying. And if we watch this, I think we're going to see that again. Weird energy.
Hello, so in a minute we're going to watch a little bit of the LCU live stream from last night where Amber Reed basically addresses the fact that her girlfriend emailed me and can't be trusted, and the fact that they're breaking up or not breaking up or whatever the hell's going on from that. But first of all, I just want to point something out which I think got missed in the live stream, which we'll watch in a second, which is that the reason I made that video and the point of that video and the reason I emailed Emma.
The reason why you made that video is, one, I mean, you've talked about it because you can make money from it, but two, because you are interested in inserting yourself into their creepy, weird relationship.
And all of that was that I was trying to prove that Amber lied when she accused.
And there's no proof. There's no proof that existed before, and you were the very first person to prove it, so thank you so much.
Somebody of kicking
was
her, and
completely
throughout the
necessary.
entire live stream that we're about to react to, you will notice that nobody once actually addresses the fact that she lied about someone kicking her. It's not a surprise to anyone that Emily did this again and that she can't be trusted, right? That's not the thing that we should all be focusing on. What we should all be focusing on is the fact that Amber lied about being kicked, and somehow, despite my attempts in my previous video, nobody in the LCU has actually talked about that fundamental thing. That is the problem. The question of Amber breaking up with Emily is not the question, right? That doesn't matter. No one gives a shit about them. Everyone knows their relationship is a joke. The goal...
That's the sort of thing you would say if you felt like you were trying to get in the middle of their relationship. Just saying.
Was to prove that when Amber said this,
I've never lied about anything serious ever.
It wasn't fucking true, and that she had lied about something very serious. That's what I...
We all know, Rachel, we all know that she has lied about really important, really serious stuff. You really didn't need to be the one to prove it unless you were trying to get something else out of it. You really didn't need to be the one who's reaching out to Emily to rehash things. You just didn't need to be that person. And it's frankly very strange behavior.
I've always been trying to do. I have no interest in Justin Bieber lookalikes who live 900 miles away from me. What we want to know is...
See, why would you bring that up? Do you know what I mean? Why would you go out of your way to say, I have no interest in Justin Bieber lookalikes who live 900 miles away from me, when Just saying.
I saw a couple of comments saying she got a few things wrong, but on the whole, it seemed like that was well received. But again, I haven't watched it, but that might come into it.
All right, last clip that we're going to talk about is the fact that Emily won't leave the LCU. I think we all know that Emily is a weirdo. I think the only thing that we can't seem to understand is why Rachel is continuing to involve herself in this relationship. You need to cut it out. So we're gonna watch her react to this because it's all just like weird energy.
Deep dive is kind of relevant, I think, so I'm not sure what's in this cut and what's not, so let's just watch it and find out. I love this like purple lighting that they both have. It looks very pretty.
And they get real information and they drop it. Are we blaming the viewers for watching that information, or are we blaming the reaction channel for going and airing out that information?
90% of the people who are giving judgment right now would have done the exact same thing.
So now we enter the plot twist nobody had on their bingo card. Emily suddenly becomes Simmet one.
Okay, in fairness, Apathetics, I think lots of people had it on their bingo card that Emily was going to continue being a weirdo who does weird stuff.
Emily never actually left the LCU Discord. She just changed her name, and her YouTube name too. And what's wild isn't just the name change, it's what was said on...
Yeah, this comment, Amberlynn was not new to the lifestyle. I saw this. This was commented on Zay's deep dive.
This is what Karina Kaboom has been saying for many years. I think it's valid. I think it seems reasonable. And I think that this is what I want to talk about, is the way that Rachel reacts to this. It's very much giving like self-satisfied. Do you know what I mean?
And this is Emily, provably Emily, I'm pretty sure anyway, provably, saying that Amber was involved in feedy stuff prior, which is not surprising. Even if she wasn't, and this is what, Jawbone, who's makes great Gorl videos, you guys will probably know who he is. I'll put the...
I've never watched Jawbone, but I feel like I probably should. However, I probably would have at some point had I not seen some of the weird messages on the Discord. I wonder, as I'm like looking at this, if Jawbone really wants to have a shout out from Rachel, because she is really kind of like the pariah at this point. If I was Jawbone, I'd be like, please do not mention me. Love you, but please don't be bringing up my name.
The video.
All right. Honestly, I think that's plenty for today. Here's the deal. I really think the way that Rachel is viewing Tommy is a very strange energy. I think there is absolutely no reason for her to continue to engage with her. I think it's amazing that she didn't learn her lesson the first time when interacting with Tommy truly burned her. So there's no reason why she would be reaching out to Tommy at this point, except for her continuing maybe to have feelings or a crush or something along those lines. I am a queer woman myself, and so I feel like I can speak to this, and it's not like homophobic if I do to say that like the way that she's acting is acting like she has a crush on Tommy. And I think that is very weird energy and very strange, and something that I wish I wasn't watching. Okay? All right, that's enough for today. Have a good night, everyone. It's night here. It's after dark time, so we're going to go rest. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day. Be sure to like, subscribe, do all those fun things, and thanks for being here. Bye, everyone.